Today I've come to the Moundsville Penitentiary, a stark old monolith right in the middle of town. Dozens of camera crews have been through here before me, ghost hunting TV show hosts who were apparently running out of Dracula's castles. My bones with them is part of why I'm here, because this place is about as scary as the former inmates' taste in art. The other reason is I grew up with this thing right in the middle of my hometown, across the street from my grandma's house, where she once watched prisoners escape over the wall. I've been one of the countless visitors locked in a cell on tours. It would fascinate any morbid young mind. Okay, so plenty of scary stuff did happen here. 85 hangings, 9 electrocutions, 36 murders, a 1986 riot where 3 hostages were killed. But when former inmates are still around, people still find relatives on the execution list. Those paranormal state guys seem lame. North Hall, where they sent the baddies, the murderers, the sickos, the poets?
Guns N' Roses lyrics right here.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses lyrics. Yeah, I was a big 80s rock fan. So that gives you an idea. It wasn't really that long ago that people actually were housed in this piece of crap.
No, it wasn't.
A slew of murders took place here. One of the more gory right in this cell, once occupied by Red Snyder. During the 1986 riot, Red took part in attacking R.D. Wall while he was on the toilet and decapitating him. Rusty Lassiter took up the job of revenge.
And the thing about Rusty was that he was really the only friend, if you could call it that Red had in this entire prison. So when they opened up the cells for him to go out on rec time with Rusty ran out of his cell and partially into this one as Red was coming out, and he stabbed Red 37 times, killing him in the cell. Someone who practiced Satanism in one of the cell 22s. Mm-hmm. And then after that inmate left North Hall, they brought in a 16-year-old boy who stayed in that same cell, and he would just scream his head off at night, just scream and scream and scream until they actually finally had to take him out of the cell because he was telling them that he was getting attacked by monsters while he was sleeping. So after that, they took him out of there and covered up all the cell 22s in this entire... Is it snowing on me?
It is snowing on you, man. Where's look. It's snowing inside the building.
That's great.
My friends take me through the infirmary to the psych ward, where they've had a few paranormal state kind of experiences.
I came in this room at night and I just felt short of breath, like it was closing in on me. It's warmer in here for some reason, and then we figured out they did lobotomies in here.
Wait 2 minutes, then move handle to off once you're done with the electric shock treatment, I presume. Control how many volts somebody gets.
This is where Ryan says he stood alone and asked any presents to answer if they were there.
The only thing I can really describe it as if someone walked into this room and just shot off a shotgun.
That's how loud it was.
That's how loud it was. My ears were ringing for about 5 minutes after I heard it. And I was sitting right over there, like I said, and after it happened, it kind of startled me, but I didn't scream for some reason. Usually if something startles you and it's that loud, usually someone would scream or at least jump or yell, but for some reason I couldn't. I couldn't breathe, and I felt just the temperature. I mean, it went from 90 degrees, it started at around 60 degrees because that's how warm it was that night, and it went up to 90, and then it came down to about as cold as it is now, and then it went back up to 90, and then it came back down, and it just kept going back and forth. And it was absolutely crazy, and I couldn't breathe until finally I got my breath back, and I took in a couple deep breaths, and I yelled all the way down to the other end there because that door was open at the time. And I yelled all the way down to the other end, "Is somebody down there?" And I sat there and waited and waited and waited for someone to just walk down and say, sorry I dropped something, or sorry I slammed a door, but nobody came down.